7 tools. 6 of them you can buy this afternoon. The 7th is not sold anywhere, and in 52 winters it has saved me more times than the other 6 together. I will get to it. It is last for a reason. But we start with the part most men have backwards. Up here, gear does not fail because it is cheap. It fails because it is cold. Steel turns brittle. Oil turns to grease. Butane stops burning. Rawhide goes stiff as iron. A knife that worked all through October will snap at the tip in February doing the very same job. That is not bad luck. That is metal doing what metal does at 40 below. So this is not a shopping list. It is 7 tools, and the reason each one lives or dies in the cold. Learn the reason, and you can judge any tool in any store, including the ones I have never owned. My name is Gus Norvik. I came up here in 1974 with a chainsaw, a rifle, and $400. I cut my own cabin 11 miles out of Talkeetna, and I have wintered in it ever since. 52 winters. I am not going to tell you long stories today. I am going to tell you how these things work and where they quit. 6 tools first, then the 7th. The 6 you can buy in any town. The 7th you build yourself, out of things you already have. For each one, what it is made of, what the cold does to it, and the mistake I see most. I have watched every one of these failures happen, and one of them cost me 2 toes. Number 1, the knife. A knife is a wedge with a handle on it. Everything else is decoration. Carbon steel takes an edge fast and comes back on a plain stone in the dark with cold hands. It also rusts if you look at it wrong. Stainless never rusts, but it is harder, and when it dulls you need better stones and better light than you will have. Every steel has a temperature where it stops bending and starts breaking. Somewhere below 20 below, a hard thin edge stops rolling over and starts chipping out. Same blade, same wood, different month. So a winter knife runs a little softer and a little thicker behind the edge than a summer one. Next, the Tang, the steel running back inside the handle. You want it full width, all the way to the butt, one piece. A narrow rat-tail Tang is a hinge waiting for cold, and it lets go at the worst hour. Then the handle, and this is the one that puts men in the clinic. Bare metal at 40 below takes the skin off a wet palm in about 2 seconds. Wood, bone, stacked leather, birch bark. All poor conductors of heat, and that is the entire reason they are there. Size. 4 to 5 inches of blade does everything. The old trade knives that came up these rivers ran about that, and they were thin cuts, thick prees. Most men buy thick, then wonder why it will not slice. The people who were here first solved it another way, with the ulu, a curved edge with the handle straight above it, so your weight goes down through the cut instead of behind it. The mistake I see most is the knife used as a pry bar. I broke a good blade that way in '83, and that was the last time. Number 2, the axe, and the maul standing behind it. These are 2 tools, and men keep trying to make one do both. A felling axe runs 3 to 3.5 pounds in the head, on a handle of 28 to 36 inches, and its bit is thin because it cuts across the grain. A splitting maul runs 6 to 8 pounds, and its bit is fat on purpose. It is not cutting. It is a wedge on a stick, and the fat wedge shoves the wood apart. Put a thin felling bit into a big round and it buries itself and stops. Not a dull axe, the wrong axe. Now wood splits easier cold than warm. There is water in the cell walls of a green round, and when that water freezes, the whole piece goes brittle. Green birch in July will fight you all afternoon. The same round at 20 below falls open like a book. But hickory goes brittle too. An overstrike that would only scar a handle in August snaps it clean in February. The steel of the head goes brittle with it. So take a cold head into a frozen knot, and you will find a piece of your bit in the snow. Short strokes at first. Let the tool come up to the work. Birch carries roughly a quarter more heat in the same stick than spruce, and it burns cleaner. Spruce is quick and easy and full of pitch, and pitch is what lines your chimney with creosote. Chimney fires up here are not accidents. They are a firewood decision made last summer. A cord is 4 feet by 4 feet by 8 feet of stacked wood, and a winter out here is 8 to 10 of them. The mistake is a dull bit, always. A flat file is the cheapest thing I will name today, and the tool the fewest men own. Bud Teasley kept his axe sharper than his knife, and he was right about that. Number 3, fire, and why your lighter is lying to you. A butane lighter does not run on liquid. It runs on the vapor coming off the liquid. Butane stops making that vapor a little above freezing, around 30 degrees. Below that, the lighter is full and the flame is gone. Nothing is broken. The physics simply left. So a lighter lives inside your coat, or it is a plastic rock in your pack. A rod of ferrocerium does not care what the temperature is. You are shaving off slivers of burning metal, and they come off hot enough to light almost anything. It works soaking wet, with mitts half on at 50 below. Matches still earn their place, dipped in candle wax and carried in a tin that closes. A spark is only half of it. The tinder is the other half. The white outer bark of a paper birch is full of an oily resin. That resin is what keeps the tree from rotting, and it is waterproof, which means the bark will take a spark while it is dripping wet. Peel it in curls off a dead standing birch. You never need to cut a live one. Spruce pitch does the same work, and so does the resin-soaked heart of an old stump. Now the fire itself. Snow is mostly air. Light a fire on 3 feet of it, and the fire melts down into a hole and drowns itself. You lay a floor first, green poles side by side, and you build on that. At 40 below, your fingers have about 2 minutes of fine work in them once the mitts come off. 2 minutes. That is the whole budget. Tinder split, shavings made, small wood stacked, all before a single spark is struck, and never burn anything inside a closed shelter or a sealed tent. Carbon monoxide gives no warning. Men have gone to sleep warm and not woken up. Number 4, the rifle. Most days it never comes off the sled. It rides along the way a spare tire rides in a truck. Ordinary gun oil thickens as it cools, and at 30 and 40 below, it is somewhere between honey and hard grease. That thick oil slows the firing pin. The pin comes forward soft, dents the primer, and nothing happens. Men blame the ammunition. It was almost never the ammunition. So a rifle that lives in the cold runs dry. You strip the bolt, wash the oil out down to bare metal, and leave it that way. The second problem comes out of your own cabin. Bring a rifle in from 40 below into a warm room and the steel sweats like a cold glass in August. That water runs into the action, and it freezes solid in there when you carry it back out, so the rifle stays cold. On the porch, in the shed, in an unheated corner. Third, snow packed into a bore is not a small problem. A plugged barrel raises pressure, and pressure splits steel. A piece of tape over the muzzle keeps it dry and does nothing at all to the shot. Fourth, glass fogs, then it freezes fogged, and a scope in that state is a paperweight. Iron sights do not fog, and nothing about a rifle is casual. Numb hands are clumsy hands, and every rule about muzzles and loaded chambers matters twice as much then. Number 5, snowshoes, and this one is pure arithmetic. Pressure is weight divided by area. That is the whole science of walking on snow. 200 pounds of man with 40 pounds on his back stands on about 70 square inches of boot sole. That is better than 3 pounds on every square inch, and soft snow will carry about half a pound. Put that same man on a pair of Alaska trail shoes, and his weight spreads over 700 square inches. Now he is under half a pound, and he walks on top of the snow that swallowed him. Nothing about him changed, only the area. The Alaska shoe, sometimes called the Yukon, is long and narrow with a tail. The tail drags and keeps the shoe tracking straight on open river ice and long flats. In thick spruce, that same tail catches on everything you own, and there you want a bearpaw. Short, wide, no tail, turns in its own length. The old shoes were laced with rawhide, what the trappers called babiche. Rawhide takes on water, then sags, then freezes hard in that sagged shape. You seal it every fall, before it ever gets wet. Afterward, you are already too late. The binding holds the ball of your foot and lets the heel lift free. Lock that heel down, and you are walking with a shovel on each foot. And the man breaking trail does about 3 times the work of the man behind him, so you trade the lead, or one man arrives used up. Number 6. Water and why eating snow will kill you slowly. Melting is expensive. Turning a pound of snow into a pound of water costs about 80% of the heat it takes to carry that same water from freezing to boiling. That heat comes from somewhere, and if you are eating snow, it comes out of you. You are running a stove in your belly and paying for it with your own core heat. Melt it outside of your body. Always. Fresh snow is 1 part water to 10 parts air, so a pot heaped full melts down to 1 inch in the bottom. Dry snow in a dry pot scorches, and everything you drink that day tastes of it. Put 1 inch of water in first and feed the snow into that. Now the bottle, and this is the best small trick I know. Water freezes from the surface down. A bottle standing upright freezes shut at the neck, and then you are holding a sealed jug of water you cannot get at. Store it upside down. The ice forms at what is now the bottom, and the mouth stays clear. Wide mouth, not narrow. A narrow one freezes shut in half the time. Keep it in a wool sock or your sleeping bag, and fill it hot at night. It warms your bed and is still liquid in the morning. In cold, dry air, you lose water with every breath, and you never feel thirsty doing it. A dry man gets cold faster, thinks slower, and makes the decision that hurts him. In February of 1981, I lost the last 2 toes on my left foot at 38 below, and I had not taken a drink since morning. Moving water is not clean water either. This is beaver country, and that means giardia. Boil it. An overflow is water sitting on river ice under a skin of snow. It soaks your boots through at 20 below before you know you stepped in it. Number 7. The one nobody sells. It is a bag about the size of your 2 fists, and it rides inside your coat, against your chest. Not in the pack, not on the belt, inside the coat. The reason is temperature, and everything in your pack is sitting at air temperature. At 40 below, that means a lighter that will not light, tape that will not stick, and a candle as hard as a stone. Against your body, all of it sits near 90 degrees and works the second you ask it to. Fire, a ferro rod, a lighter, and a small tin of tinder you made yourself out of birch bark, pitch, and cotton rubbed with petroleum jelly. Repair, a needle, waxed thread, and about 6 feet of soft wire. A binding lets go 4 miles out. Wire fixes it in the cold. Almost nothing else does. A candle, and not for the light. 1 candle puts out about as much heat as a small light bulb. Call it 80 watts. And in a snow shelter the size of your body, that is the difference between above freezing and below. Dry wool. 1 spare pair of socks, 1 spare set of mitt liners. Wool keeps most of its warmth wet. Cotton keeps none, and wet cotton pulls heat out of a man many times faster than dry air. A small flat file for the axe and the knife both, and food that does not go hard. Fat and nuts, because a frozen candy bar is a rock and you will not eat it. 6 things, 2 pounds altogether. None of it costs much. And I will be straight with you. This bag does not make you safe. It buys you time, and time is what a man runs out of first out here. Bud Teasley died in 1987, 400 yards from a warm stove. He had a good axe on his sled and nothing at all on his body. So here is the week, and none of it takes a trip to town. Put your lighter outside for an hour tonight, then try to light it. Now you know. Buy a flat file and keep it where the axe is. Look at your axe handle where it meets the head. Seal your snowshoe lacing while it is dry and strip the oil out of your bolt. Turn your water bottle upside down. That one is free. And build the bag. 2 pounds inside the coat, and it never comes out of that coat again. That was the 7th tool, and now you know why nobody sells it. It is not one thing. It is 6 ordinary things kept warm and kept together, and no store can hand you that. Tell me in the comments what is in yours, and what you carry that I never named. I read them. Next time, the cold itself. And the one thing about it the old men here understood that almost everybody has forgotten. The cold does not argue with you. It just keeps score.